I've got the horse right here. His name is Paul Revere. There's a guy that says if the weather's clear, can do. Can do. The guy says the horse can do. Sorry, I know that's random, but that's what I'm known for.
That's awesome.
Ken, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good, brother. How you doing, man? That's awesome. That was a great opening.
I'm doing all right. For those of you who do not know, Ken plans to do a Brazilian kick or a question mark kick today on the mainstream news lame media. Oh, very good. That was a quick one. That was a knockout.
Yeah, wow. That was a knockout.
That was definitely.
That's like Marco's elbow last week.
Marco's elbow. It's dangerous. It's very dangerous.
Good elbow, man.
So, Ken, we have many things to go over, but we're going to stick with the script. The script is, man, your shirt again this week. I 100% agree. And can I get one, please?
Yes. I'll get you one, and I'll find out where she got it from. But this is the ranch house that I work at out here. I wore this 2 weeks ago, but we didn't talk about the shirt. We talked about the attempted assassination, and we had Jacob and Marquand, and I decided to wear it again because I got like three people that commented on it. So it must be a good shirt. It is.
It's a badge of honor.
It's a badge of honor. Exactly.
Now, turning to those comments that you aforementioned, we have some very interesting comments this week. In fact, excuse me, let me begin with Kathy 6556. Meanwhile, here in the UK, the general population has been informed that due to hotels being fully booked, I'm assuming, we have to take the influx of migrants into our homes. That's not going to end well. Thanks, guys, for the update. I seem to recall the straw that broke the camel's back in 1774 was the fact that Bostonians had to actually house the redcoats that were there to police them.
Yes, absolutely. That was, They never learned. History repeats. Well, it rhymes basically, but it does repeat to an extent.
Same government, different redcoats.
Yep. Different redcoats. Yeah.
Wouldn't it better to be say red rugs?
Red rugs, yeah. Wow.
Shannon Devoy 1614 says, "Hi guys, nice to have the full team on. Praying for you guys and praying for sanity to prevail in the forthcoming elections. Anyone voting for Jezebel Harris must have no discernment whatsoever."
That's awesome. Now let's explain why you are doing the YouTube videos. You're doing the comments because I'm on my phone, and he actually said it looks clear. I actually look better, so I might continue to be on my phone. But that's why Jay's doing the comments this week.
Yes, this might be my new gig.
Yeah,
this might be my new shtick.
You're doing well, and I'll probably keep going on this phone because it's a better picture than my computer, huh?
Oh, it's a real gigantic upgrade. Now to Shannon's comment here, I just want to say, unfortunately, Shannon, there is no chance that any sanity will prevail in this upcoming election between Trump and the Democrats. And I say Democrats because Jezebel Harris, just a figurehead. Obviously,
I don't know.
An empty pantsuit. But
we don't know if she stays, if she goes, where I stay, or should I go now? So I don't know.
And by the way, I just would like to add, there are millions and millions of Americans from one state to the other state, coast to coast, that have zero discernment.
Zero. Yes.
So unfortunately, I'm going to say, I agree with you, Shannon, but I don't have much hope on this election, nor the discernment of Americans.
Nope.
Matthew 24 says, "When the Son of Man cometh, will he find faith on earth?" Luke 18:8, he shares, keep the faith remnant church.
Absolutely. That's a good one. Absolutely. Amen.
Cannot say anything against that. And that is a good question. Will the Son of Man find faith when he comes again? I look around and I'm seeing a lot of faithless people.
Yep.
Although I also am encouraged by the people, the 93 comments this week, and the thousands of views of this show gives me hope that there might be a remnant that the Lord keeps on the earth.
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna try. Christy Sherbirth 1428 says, I know I say this each week, yet I believe what Ken said today. We need to be thankful. By God's grace and mercy, through our prayers, kept us from being in total chaos at this time. Thank you to all three of you for your insight that God gives you and your willingness to share it. We need to always be ready to share the gospel with those God has placed in front of us.
Amen.
No truer words could be ever said.
No true ever. Yep. That's it.
Yep. Amen.
And that was from me, you, and Marco's. You know, that's the program that was that's commented on last week.
Yeah. It was nice to have Marco 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, 2 weeks in a row. Yeah, that was awesome. Awesome.
Finally, our last comment that we had to go over is no baloney Mahoney 7940. That flying elbow of Marco.
It was good. That's it, man.
That was.
Came across.
And he reached across and it went straight to the temple.
Yeah.
All right, Ken, let's dig right in. Here we go. Update on the attempted assassination of Donald Trump. The first takeaway we can go on about: Joe Biden will resign.
Yeah. I'm thinking he will. I talk about it a little later on. But that's first what I want to get ahead. We do know that Kimberly Cheadle, she resigned, and it was a brutal beatdown of her incompetence. Even though I think she was kind of the fall guy. But what we do know about Crooks, the assassin, or the so-called assassin, compared to the January 6th people who are in jail. There seems to be a news vacuum going on around a single most important thing that's happened in the United States in the last 20 years. So it's weird how it just disappeared. But just think about the mainstream media, CNN, how they would have gone after January 6th family. They have the cousins, they have the sisters, they have the brothers. They knock on doors. They're talking to everyone who's ever met that person. They're at your grocery store. They know where you shop. They know your coworkers. They know every single person who may have been in contact with you. That's it. That's what they put the January 6th. We've seen them arrested, and they're putting out their any motive. So we may not have any hard evidence of multiple shooters besides a ballistic account, but we also don't seem to have any evidence about this shooter. That's what's crazy. The way I always think is I used to attend some of these events, and I keep looking up and saying, that's a place, that's a place, that's a place. And, this would be a good place to hide. That'd be a good place to hide. I always used to do that. But, when they're hanging flags and cranes and all that from like the first Butler, he spoke at Butler in 2020, believe it or not. And they had cranes and flags and all this, and it was all blocked off, and they're meant for security. So, but the rally this past Saturday had nothing, or 2 Saturdays ago, had nothing blocking the line of sight that the building to the stage, and it was like a big opening. So the rally just put, and that makes me think that things are completely out of control in this country. Is 2 weeks later, and we still don't have any answers for basic questions on this. I mean, put it up right next to the Oswald thing with JFK, and the people who are doing in charge of the Donald Trump's life, who are, they haven't been held accountable or fired. We don't know what these 3 girls that were, any questions at. I just don't know. It does feel like there's no recourse. They can just murder anyone they want to. And we sit here and say, okay, go ahead. That's how it goes. So this is not the country even 4 years ago. that have you heard people saying, Jay, you've heard people saying, oh, they missed. I mean, this is lawlessness. It's nuts how 30% or however many people they talk to so many people, especially in liberal areas. But I've never seen anything like this. I've never heard of anything like this, and it's all just bizarre. It's bizarre.
Now, I didn't tell you this in the pre-show, but you know what I rewatched this past week is I watched Oliver Stone's JFK.
Oh my gosh! Yes.
And do you remember the part where the Donald Sutherland is playing this ex-CIA general, and he says that I was in New Zealand 4 hours before they even would pick up Lee Harvey Oswald, and the newspaper already had
that
he was a lone
Oswald.
Gunman, and it was Lee Harvey Oswald.
That's just and the news can sometimes be your friend and tell you what's going on. So
that's like the Mandela effect. It's like
it is.
The narrative was already prepared.
Yes.
Before and after. So even if Trump died, it would have been a lone gunman that was killed at the scene.
Yep, totally. And you want to know one other? I'm sorry to bring this up, but 9/11. Do you remember the BBC? How they said that the Solomon building, the building 7, fell earlier, and she was reporting with building 7 right behind her, still up. They were reporting. Did you ever see that video?
No, I never saw the video.
Yeah. That was crazy. You can get that on Rumble. I think that YouTube's taking it all down, but you can get it on Rumble and Twitter. And it's nuts that she said, well, building 7, the Solomon building has come down. It's crazy. And it didn't come down for another 25 minutes or something like that. So it's crazy.
So they already had been.
They had it already.
The narrative. That was supposed to go.
And then remember how it came down. Remember how it came down. It came down in like 2.2 seconds or something like that, and it just went.
Which begs the question: there seems to be maybe like a convergence between media and maybe intelligence that we are aware of.
Absolutely. Yep. CIA, all the alphabet companies, and that's why. It's really nuts times right now.
Oh yeah.
It's nuts times.
And to your point, that movie again, and by the way, I had the opportunity to meet Oliver Stone a while ago while he was working.
What? No way! And oh my gosh,
he's a crazy guy.
He is. They're all nuts.
He's kind of nuts.
Yeah, they're all nuts.
Definitely an interesting story. But one thing that I really took away from his movie is, one of the greatest lines of that movie is when they can kill a president without any consequences and get away with it, you no longer live in a country that is based upon constitutional principles.
And that's 1963, brother.
Yeah.
That's 60 years. I'm 60 years old. I was born. My mom was nursing me, and it was November of 63. And I was born in October of 63. And my mom was nursing me, and she was crying as she was nursing me. She was crying. And she just, she said it was like solemn.
You were weaned upon the morning.
I was weaned upon the morning
of the King Arthur
JFK.
of the King of Kamala.
Absolutely.
Of the United States.
Yeah. Crazy. My mom used to tell me that story all the time. Yeah.
Interesting. Nuts. We should continue. We have a video with the Overwatch. Now this furthers this story. It takes it to a new level.
Yes.
Reported by Benny Johnson.
Yes.
Really, I mean, it seems to me, Ken, that the people that are doing the most legitimate reporting are citizens journalists that aren't affiliated with the alphabet companies.
No. And that's who, Benny Johnson, Vigilant Fox, all of them. Yep.
So here we go. I'm going to show that video that he did, and then you can explain it. All right. So
40 feet.
What is the significance of that room, Ken? Again?
So I wrote all these notes down, man. It's nuts. So it's a brief rant on the Trump's would-be assassin. He was eliminated on the rooftop before firing on Trump, but
but we fired 8 shots, or he fired at least 3 of those shots, the first 3 that we know. This knowledge comes from first-hand sources, okay? So the video is a view from the 2nd-story window of the ARG building. The rooftop overlooks where Crooks fired on Trump. So this room was the Overwatch view where a Butler County SWAT sniper team was stationed at the direction of the Secret Service for the Trump rally. Okay, the Secret Service is responsible for stationing all protective teams for the president. Local and state law enforcement officers go where they are told. So the snipers in this location should have easily been able to engage Crooks before he ever came close to scoping out or sighting on of Trump. Yet Crooks was able to fire that day without any engaging from the position. Why? This is important. There was a 3-man SWAT sniper team located at this position. One member of this team went home early. Not sure how that was allowed, but it happened. So the remaining 2 snipers positioned in the room were notified that a suspicious individual, Crooks, was lurking outside the building. So the one team member left his position to investigate, just leaving one sniper with overwatch of the roof. So the investigating team member found nothing, and in the process of returning to his position, realized he had forgotten his access card to the building. So the last remaining sniper left his position to retrieve his team member locked outside. Crooks crawled across the roof and fired on Trump, while this fully equipped sniper nest with perfect view of Crooks' assassination position was left completely unmanned. So leads to get questions. I stated these in the past podcast or 2 weeks ago. I didn't really say anything 2 weeks, but last week I did. So who was running the command that allowed this tactical error? Number 1. Number 2, who gave the okay or order to abandon this post? Don't they have to check who's supervising? So number 3, how is there not an officer on the roof who could engage Crooks directly? That's what I want to know. And then I know that the guy popped up and he got shot at and he popped back down and blah, blah, blah. It's just all confusing. So the last question was, why was there not overwatch from the water tower? So a far superior position. Remember last week I had the water tower guy and the guy that kept going in and out? Yeah. Someone was on the water tower. I showed that last week. So on a side note, the Secret Service skipped the security briefing the morning of the assassination, the morning of that rally. They just skipped it. It's just nuts.
So let me sum up and answer any questions you have from my conspiratorial brain.
Okay, go.
Here we go.
Go.
The reason why they didn't show up for the security briefing is because they were following a different book that they were handed. First of all, the one person who was a Trump supporter went home early because he was ordered to go home early.
Oh, yes.
Okay. The second, the man purposely was told, we need a cover story why you're locked out of your position, and we need to be able to have plausible deniability why the next sniper decided to go and open up the door for you, so you will lose your key card on the outside. And the moment from the ground that we had our Crooks guy, our Crooks shooter, decide to ascend his position, a radio signal went up from the team lead to the sniper left in the position saying, your friend is locked out. I need you to go check on him right now. We need to have him back. So we have 2 eyes there.
Yep.
That's just me filling in blanks.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's the truth.
That's a great hypothetical. Let's call it the hypothetical.
Let's call it speculation.
Complete
and utter theoretical speculation.
But it makes sense.
But it probably is the truth.
Yeah, does make sense. But they let the one shooter go because he was a Trump supporter.
I just added that one in there.
Yeah, that's the best one.
Either that, or his wife was having twins that very moment.
Yeah, and he had to go. Yeah, interesting.
But I like the Trump theory. I like the Trump supporter theory.
Yeah, I do too. That's it. Yeah.
Now this is a question that unfortunately the media is completely. We know the dietary habits of the January 6th criminals, according to the media. We know their their cousins, girlfriends, uncles, third grade classmates story about them. But yet, when it comes to Thomas Crooks, well, we don't know anything about him. He has no internet footprint whatsoever. You know, he had a Twitter page, or no, it was a Twitch page, wasn't it?
A Twitch, Twitch,
and a Steam account, and then a Gab account. That's all we know. That's all the little
ones. Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah. But let's look a little closer at it. All right. I wrote some notes on him too. So Crooks supposedly he made 3 explosive devices with a remote detonation capabilities, right? So anyway, he had supposedly no online search history of bomb making. So what's that? He just made them. He just knew. He also apparently planned the assassination plot just 7 days before the Butler rally. Who believes this stuff? That's all I want to know. Police found a cell phone and a bomb detonator next to Crooks' dead body. And, quote, it is unclear how Crooks assembled the explosive devices found in his car. So, another quote, investigators going through his online search history haven't found any indication of him researching how to make homemade explosives. So this is what we know, all right? I got a little list on this is what we know. He flew a drone over the Pennsylvania Fairgrounds and got aerial footage of the layout on the day of the event, including 2 hours before Trump took the stage. That's crazy. Got a rangefinder through security somehow, was using it. Supposedly evaded law enforcement officers from several different state, local, and federal agencies, somehow climbed up on the roof with his rifle 450 feet away from President Trump, bear crawled to the perfect vantage point as bystanders alerted police, and was still able to take 8 shots, or at least the first 3, at Trump. So parked a vehicle full of explosives near the rally, even though there is no online search history of Crooks researching how to make homemade explosives. I'll say that again. So Crooks was able to walk around the premises after snipers took a photo of him looking suspicious. A sniper located in the second-story window was only 40 feet away from Crooks and didn't neutralize him. That was the guys that I just showed. They were 40 feet away from them. They were the closest. Trump was still allowed to take the stage after Crooks was tagged as a suspicious secret suspicious by Secret Service. Odd finding. Also, mobile data analysis revealed someone who regularly visited Crooks' Pennsylvania home, also visiting a building in D.C. near an FBI office. This person visited Crooks' home and work regularly. It was just really odd. Those are all the intel things I took out for this week.
Ken, if I may, can I maybe float an idea here? Instead of calling Crooks by his real name, because it gives him a legacy, I believe we should give him an alias for the show. From now on, we should call him Patsy Blinds.
Patsy Blinds. Yes. So that's his new name. Absolutely.
Patsy Blinds.
Oh, man, it's just nuts.
It's infuriating. And what's more infuriating is the fact that the news went on for months after month about the January 6th stuff.
Oh, it's still going. It's still going.
Yeah, it's still going. And yet
they were still arresting people a year later.
And we've already moved on from an assassination attempt on a former president.
Yes, it's crazy. It's nuts. We live in nuts times. We live in Romans 1 times, dude. We live in Romans 1 times.
Absolutely. In fact, you know what? I have videos to prove that we live in Romans 1 times that we'll get to later. But
we have some.
We have some interesting stories coming down the pipe.
Yes, we do. Yep. Yes, we do. Might be a little longer show. It might be a tiny bit longer of a show. So I hope you guys want to hang out. We got a lot of stuff to go over.
Yes. Now, this next story, there's going to be a visual aid that will be added. The Secret Service recommends that the Trump campaign ceases to have outdoor rallies, and Trump fully endorses and capitulates to Her Highness the Empress Kamala Harris. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
The story is the Secret Service wants them to cease having outdoor campaigns, which Trump said no.
No. Since July 13th, the event, Secret Service officials have communicated the agency's concerns about large outdoor events. So Trump has held dozens of large outdoor events since the start of 2024 and hundreds of since his presidential campaign of 2016. I mean, he's outdoor rallies are cheap. They're the two outdoor rallies that he had immediately following the attempted assassination were outdoors, Chesapeake, Virginia, and at his golf course. I don't know if he did those. I'm not sure. You remember earlier this summer, a Trump rally at Wildwood, New Jersey, drew an estimated crowd of 100,000. I remember seeing that, a record for the Garden State. Any political rally, and that's predominantly a blue state. So that same agency that failed miserably to protect the president is now asking him to stop holding these large outdoor rallies. And Trump has said, I will continue to do outdoor rallies with increased security. So, and did you see Biden get out of the car? I was trying to think of seeing any females around him. I didn't see any females around Biden.
Now, speaking of Biden, the very interesting thing that you bring up about Biden, since he's left the presidency, he has not only seems to have gained a few IQ points back from his dementia, but he seems more, clear-headed. He speaks with eloquence. And the strangest thing is, it seems like, unlike any of us, he suddenly is growing taller in his old age.
Like
rather than losing cartilage. And he's actually gaining cartilage. We have a video.
Yes, it's a long video, but it's worth it.
I don't like to go with these conspiracy theories that, the Beatles or, the John Lennon's still alive or Elvis is still alive or, that I'm Bill Hicks. I mean, there's definitely schizophrenics online that think all that, okay? But with this and that body double, in fact, I forgot to tell the crew, about a year ago, a body double got caught sneaking out the back of the White House to get in a car, and it was that guy. And I forgot to find the clip or send it to you. Type body double caught leaving White House. And it's literally that guy, that face, that fake smile. He's taller than Biden. And presidents have had body doubles for over 100 years. Saddam Hussein had a bunch. So pull all that up, guys. Saddam Hussein's body doubles, too. So I'm kind of planning stuff here on air. I'm kind of producing on air. Like, I want this, I want that. But the new Joe Biden is at least 8 inches, 6.5 to 8 inches taller than he was. We have side-by-sides with him and Jill. And then you've got this other weird one. But there are at least 5 Joe Bidens I've been seeing. And look, eyes don't lie. That's how you can walk into a furniture store and look 60 feet away and see a bowl of what's supposedly fruit. And you can look at it at a distance and tell that's plastic. Even though it looks almost perfect, there's still something about it. Well, this wouldn't even pass as plastic fruit. I mean, this is absolutely crazy. And I posted that, but they've got videos too blowing it up.
While other networks lie to you about what's happening now, InfoWars tells you the truth about what's happening next. Visit Infowars.com/show and share the link today.
I could sit there and play engagement games and just, do Q stuff and say, the Beatles are alive and, or John Lennon or Elvis is alive. I don't do that, okay? And I've seen the weird faces of Biden and where his chin all looks rubbery and it looks like a different person, but, he's old, he's had facelifts, whatever. But last night there was a video we'll play where you can look at the face and the head and he's 8 inches at least taller than what he used to be. And people have done side-by-sides. I posted on X where she is way shorter than him now. And you look at that Joe Biden, you just look at him. That's not the same dude. He's taller. He's bigger. It's a different suit. It's a different jacket. What is going on? Well, they just replaced him with Kamala without a vote. She didn't get one vote in the primary. So it's a replacement of dictatorship. So where is Joe Biden? Because that's not Joe Biden in the video you're seeing on screen. And you got the long history of the CIA and rubber masks and Saddam and Kim Jong-un. We can put all those on screen. I've got the articles right here. But Biden might have been dead for years. I have no idea what the truth is. I just know that is not Joe Biden in that video, and he disappeared for 6 days. Who the hell knows what is really going on? And that's the thing. These are such incredible liars. I don't know. Go ahead and roll the video with audio of Biden walking out last night, and it's not Biden. Blow it up more. Looks nothing like him. And again, I've got the side-by-sides right here. I said 6 inches. He's more like 8 inches taller. I mean, you know, you've looked at him forever. That's not Joe Biden. Look at the face, bigger cheekbones, everything. Overhead shot right here. They've got the photos of them, and it's not perspective. I spent an hour today looking at this. Look at Jill. She's about 6, 7 inches shorter. She's now a foot to 14 inches shorter. So look, she's normally up to his neck. Top of her head is at his neck in the noob Joe Biden. She's right beside him. And in this, the top of her head is at his eyes. So the top of her head is at his eyes. Now she's at his neck. And look at the face. Look at the show. Look at the cut of the suit. Look at the pants. Not the same person, folks. And I've watched a bunch of videos of this. They say there's Joe Biden. She's with his eyes. She's right there. But now, look at her. Hell, she's not even at his shoulders. So, Jay Dyer give us his take. You know, he's an expert on the globalists and how they operate. But this is really, really fishy. But, I mean, it doesn't matter. They've already replaced him and appointed her with no votes, so it doesn't even matter. But where is Joe Biden? That's an important question.
Have you ever seen the movie called Dave?
Yes. I've seen that. Yes, and he prevents he's
so
and Sigourney Weaver.
Yes, Sigourney Weaver is the wife of the president, who is a complete jerk.
Yeah, and she guesses, right? She goes, I think he took a shower or something like that, and he didn't match up with the old president.
That's right.
That was funny. It was a funny part, but yeah, the president's assassinated or he died. I forget how he died.
No, the president is in a coma.
In a coma. That's right.
And the person who is, I believe it's the chief of staff, comes up with the idea of replacing him with this accountant that looks exactly like him.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the accountant seems to be a decent person.
Yes. It's actually a really good movie.
It's a very good movie. Yeah.
Very entertaining.
But I think Joe Biden is underneath the White House.
Yeah.
Probably on life support.
Yeah. Something's going on.
As long as he's drawing breath, he's alive.
Yeah, he's alive. Yeah. That's crazy. Sorry for the long video, guys. I just wanted everybody to be updated on that. That's what they do with world leaders. They have like 3 or 4, like the Saddam who swam across the Tigris. Was it the Tigris that he swam across? Yeah. The one that swam across was a different Saddam, always, every year, and he was in great shape. He was ripped. You know, supposedly this 55 or 60-year-old guy. So anyway,
much like Biden, with his friends in tech, he sounds coherent on the call that he made to Kamala Harris.
Mm-hmm.
And from my perspective, it's either drugs or AI, because when you put in front of a crowd at a debate, he sounds worse than the dementia the worst dementia patient that I've ever heard. Incoherent.
Incoherent. Yep.
Now let's talk about Kamala Harris. What is Kamala Harris all about?
So that's everybody asked me, what do you think of Kamala Harris? And so I wrote a couple pages of just what I thought of her. And I think she's a politician to the politician's politician. She is interested in accumulation of wealth, power, and control. So she is a believer in government, like all other Marxists. I think there's a possibility she can be installed, but I don't know. I really am. I'm kind of vacillating right now. So this is going to be a great test of the power of the media. Take someone who formerly was universally disliked, people didn't like her, and transform them into a godlike figure. And they will use everything they have to do that. So are Americans smart enough to see right through that? I don't know. So all I'm going to say is, if the USA is as like all other places, that why would people want to come here? People are coming here, and they're it's crazy. I don't want to go down that road. It was amazing how the media was so quick to dump Joe and to adore and worship Kamala. It was amazing. So they need to first elevate Kamala to president, or so Joe dies. I don't know if Joe dies or if he resigns. But here's three things that I wrote down. So number one, history shows us that incumbent presidents always receive a noticeable boost compared to other candidates. Number two, what I wrote, if Kamala even serves for a couple months in the White House, it'll give her an opportunity to show the American people that she can do the job, as long as she doesn't mess up too much. Number three, the moment she is sworn in, she will become the first woman president. And that will be greatly celebrated by the mainstream media and will generate a tremendous wave of enthusiasm for her campaign. So ultimately, elevating her to president is simply the next logical step. So I can see them doing that. I can see them not doing that. I said earlier, I predict that Joe will not fulfill his presidency, and Joe's failing health is perfect for it. He cannot serve in the Oval Office for another 6 months. So I expect to see the move that is directed very soon. We already see crazy media, but as Joy Reid is probably the latest person on her Twitter account she's actually demonically insane. She says if Black people will look crazy if they do not vote for Kamala. So that's just that's nuts. So,
wait. Joy Reid says that you're insane.
You're insane. Black people will look crazy if you do not vote for Kamala. Yeah, she said that in her last rant. I watch her rants all the time.
I would say that you're insane if you're listening to Joy Reid.
Yeah, me too. Yep, exactly. Yeah. And just remember, Kamala did absolutely nothing. She hasn't taken a press conference, hasn't answered a single question. If you believe this Kamala rollout was a well executed, it just shows how easily people can be manipulated by propaganda.
Right now, I'd say they probably can be very much manipulated by propaganda.
Yeah, I mean, they're just mindlessly chasing the next shiny object. Reality is irrelevant when you brainwash your populace. It's just irrelevant.
Yes. Unfortunately, that's the truth.
Unfortunately, yeah.
So this next story we're going to talk about now, I'm going to preface it a little bit. Now, for those of you watching on YouTube, you will not be able to see the video that we're talking about, because if we were to show you the video, this video would not be able to be seen on YouTube.
Yep.
So we're going to replace that video in this section with a different video that you can enjoy. But if you want to see the video that we're talking about, included in the description will be a link to Rumble and to Twitter. Choose. And you can basically watch what we're going to talk about in the next segment here. For now, for those of you on Rumble, we'd like to talk about this. And of course, we are talking about the opening of the Olympics. And I just want to give props out to where it's due. This video was made by Davey in Australia.
Davey, good job, Davey.
And he did an excellent job. Okay, well,
Great video.
There is a lot to break down there. First,
A lot. Yeah.
Again, Davey, great job. Thank you so much. Let's go image by image. We had the Last Supper depicted.
The Last Supper, yep.
With transsexuals and a small child.
Yes.
A bunch with sitting in the midst of a bunch of sexual reprobates.
Yes.
The second image was a white horse with all of the nation's worlds following behind it.
Yes.
Okay.
Crazy.
And the third image was a giant podium with a golden calf on top.
Yes. Nuts. Beyond nuts. And
by the way, the Olympic International Committee has made it illegal to show that on YouTube.
Yep. They cut it off, man. They cut off everybody. They took it down off Twitter too.
Wow.
So I don't know. So and I don't know if I hope it doesn't.
We're going to roll the dice. I think we'll be fine on Rumble. We're going to roll the dice on Twitter to include it.
Yeah.
But this is commentary, and let's just say it for what it is. They know Christians will not do anything. They know that Christians will not take up arms against them. And so they are going to be the persons that are mocked. They show a lot of courage talking about Christianity, but if you'll recall, in France, Charlie Hebdo, 2015, they made a cartoon about Muhammad, and they were instantly attacked by Muslims.
Yes.
And they don't do that anymore.
Nope.
Which, further to the point, I think, Ken, what we're seeing here is the fact that France itself is it's completely given over.
Yes.
And on top of that, it doesn't even know what's coming as Islam starts to take over.
Yes. And no, the UK and Ireland and all of them have no clue. They just don't yet. Although I did, so I did write down a note somewhere. Oh, yes. So Iran, sorry, I always say Iran condemned the 2024 Olympics for mocking the Last Supper. I didn't say this I just wrote down right now things that it's just things are coming in so fast. But this is a quote from the Iranian government. This is a quote. Check this out. The insulting representation of Jesus Christ in Paris yesterday was completely offensive and crossed all red lines. France, a country with a major history of Christianity, must be ashamed of itself. And we implore the Christian people all over the world to speak out against this act. We resolutely condemn this. That's someone in the Iranian government. That's someone in Iran.
It's funny that a state that we definitely are being pushed to war with, comes up with the fact that they're defending Christianity more than the Christians.
Yes. It was a crazy quote. It was a crazy quote. Yeah.
And by the way, so they're obviously mocking Leonardo da Vinci's painting of the Last Supper. But one thing I would like to go ahead and say, there's no way that that's what the Last Supper really looked like. And two, according to most historians today, Leonardo da Vinci was probably of the LGBTQ community.
Yes.
Therefore, aren't they just celebrating a famed historical artist that they've claimed?
Yes, of course.
So I was explaining to a friend of mine that this is a psyop. It's a no-win scenario. If you come against it, basically what you're doing is you're acknowledging that Leonardo da Vinci is the person that has made the Last Supper in everybody's mind. Which, first of all, Christians shouldn't go to. First of all, God is not mocked. Leonardo da Vinci was mocked by that. Christianity was mocked, but you know who wasn't mocked? Jesus Christ.
God. Jesus Christ. Nope, not at all. Yep. Great observation.
I just wanted to throw it in there because everybody is going off against this and they're not letting people actually comment on it and actually critique it. But I just want to remind everyone, do you think God cares what Leonardo da Vinci thought, or do you think he cares that France wants to pretend like they're artsy? At the end of the day, all they do are they're just showing their reprobate mind.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, they've been given over to it.
Yeah. So I have a billionaire client. I didn't mention this in the pre-show, that lives in France. That he lives in the hills. You know, he said, he said that the city's gone. The city's gone. Yep. They did clean it up, though. They cleaned it up. They got 10,000 soldiers in the city. Got 10,000 military in the city and police in the city.
Oh, kind of like Governor Newsom's going to start cleaning all the homeless.
Cleaning up all the homeless.
Encampments for the next Olympics.
Yeah, exactly.
The next pagan ritual, the pagan mass ritual.
Do they have the next Olympics in 2028? Los Angeles does?
I believe they do.
Do they? So 1984. No, I went to the 84 Olympics. You know that?
I did too. I was there too.
Really? Oh my
too.
gosh. You were in LA? Oh yeah. We drove up. There was no traffic at all. None. Zero traffic. We parked at some person's house. We parked there first day, second day, third day, fourth day, and then my brother went up for the fifth day and sixth day. I did 3 and he did 2. And I got to see Carl Lewis. I got to see everybody. I got to see the track stars, man. Yeah. Oh, did you really? Oh, yeah. Wow. Yeah. Oh my gosh, they were the best.
I believe it was Mary Lou Retton.
Mary Lou Retton. Yep. And Mary Decker, I got to see her when she got by who was that South African girl that tripped her? Remember Mary Decker, I think it was. Yeah, she got tripped. She was supposed to win, and she got tripped and fell, and blah blah blah. Yeah, I was there for all that, man. It was crazy. It was awesome. Fantastic
moment of time where we actually could have met each other face by face.
Yeah, I know. It's like it was like 500,000 people in the same area. So yeah.
So you awesome. Met 6-year-old Jay.
Oh my gosh, were you 6?
I was 6 years old.
Oh my gosh, I was like 17 or 18. I just
that would have been trippy.
Wow. Wow. What are we going to go to next? Our
next one, we're going to talk a little bit about Kamala. And, I just want to say this.
Right. I want
Kamala represents the world, okay?
Yes.
That's what she represents. And she wants to make sure that anything like the Olympic Committee that challenges the world's idea of open and total debauchery is vilified and banned from the public forum. To that point, we would like to show you the video that Kamala Harris put out showing that she's an ally.
We interrupt this program to bring you a message from an extra special Drag Race viewing party.
Hi, everyone. It's Kamala Harris. Each day, we are seeing our rights and freedoms under attack, including the right of everyone to be who they are, love who they love, openly and with pride. So as we fight back against these attacks, let's all remember, no one is alone. We are all in this together, and your vote is your power. So please make sure your voice is heard this November and register to vote at vote.gov.
Can I get an amen?
Amen! Now on with the show.
And remember, you better vote.
I think I'm going to go throw up. I'll be right back. I'm just joking. She choosing to kick off her campaign. That's how she kicked off her campaign this year on RuPaul's Drag Race. So she and Joe campaigned on this last time. They did the same thing, but they didn't kick off their campaign on this, but they promised to push men into women's sports with Title IX, and they did it. And they also pushed little boys into little girls' rooms, so or old men into little girls' rooms. Like it's beyond crazy. It's beyond whacked. It's a Romans 1 world.
I mean, when she talks about our rights being under attack,
right?
What about our rights to dissent from a world in which this is promoted like it's something that is the norm. When demographics clearly says it's not.
No, it's not. Well, first of all, God says it's not. Created a male and female, man. I mean, Genesis 1. Like it's beyond crazy. It's crazy. We're in crazy town.
Yeah. So our religious rights take a backseat to their right to. By the way, our religious rights do not impose themselves on anybody else. But we don't need it shoved in our face every day, like it's something that's special and wonderful.
Yeah, like I said, the 4 years ago, and it's going to just get more. Like the 2022. Where was 2022 Olympics?
Beijing.
Beijing. Yeah, they weren't that bad. They were actually pretty good.
Of course not.
The 2020 Olympics were horrible. The London, right? London was 2020. Yeah, that was with the bull. That was a bull that they worshipped.
No, that was the Commonwealth Games.
Oh my gosh, that was the Commonwealth. Oh, okay, that was the Commonwealth
Games. That was not the Olympics.
That was not the Olympics. Oh man. Well,
the same bull that they worshipped in the Commonwealth Games were at the Paris 2024 Olympics. Same bull. Same bull. Same golden calf in the desert.
Same golden calf. Yep. Wow. Well, I can't wait to see the 2028.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
Come, Lord Jesus, quickly so I don't have to.
Yeah, absolutely. Amen.
Now, we're going to talk a little bit about Kamala Harris and her English ancestor. But before we do that, we want to do a flashback of Kamala Harris giving a speech.
Everything is in context. My mother she would give us a hard time sometimes, and she would say to us, I don't know what's wrong with you young people. You think you just fell out of a coconut tree? You exist in the context of all in which you live and what came before.
I don't know what to say. It's so very profound. I'm going to finish with one of her profound statements. I'm going to finish off with one of her profound statements that she stated multiple times. I'm sparing the audience, not playing the video of her saying that all the time. But a little flashback story, real quick, on Kamala. Kamala Harris is a descendant of a notorious Irish slave owner, and he owned slaves on a sugar plantation in Jamaica. So it is crucial to bring this issue back into the public eye to expose the depth of her hypocrisy. So Kamala Harris is a descendant of a slave owner who managed a Jamaican plantation and fiercely opposed the abolition of slavery, according to British historians. This revelation presents a stark contrast to Harris's campaign, which is heavily focused on racial politics. When is it not? With her. In 2019, it was reported that Kamala's great-great-great-great-grandfather, Hamilton Brown, owned at least 121 slaves. In 1826, he also traveled to London to fight abolition. He fought it. He lost. So after he was no longer able to enslave Africans, he then turned his attention towards Irish migrants. So no matter what color, he just didn't like people. And British researchers have stated Hamilton Brown was a notorious figure and not a nice fellow. That's a quote. So he wasn't a nice guy. So, but this is her great-great-great-grandfather.
Which brings us to our final question about Kamala Harris for now. What are the Democrats up to? This is nonsense. This person is the worst candidate they could possibly pick out of their camp, and yet they're running with it, and the media is fawning on her like she's some kind of brilliant goddess. It's crazy.
It's crazy how they just switched. She was the least liked of all. She didn't get one vote which she ran in 2020. She didn't get one vote for I mean, her record is dismal. It's dismal. Yeah. So I you want me to go off on my Trump thing, my Kamala thing? I have one last Kamala thing.
Go for it.
Yeah. So the choice of Kamala makes no sense. But the Democrats have something up their sleeve. I know they do. And something very shocking is coming. So Trump isn't supposed to be alive. there was a clear conspiracy by the highest level of the government, the deep state, DC swamp, and Democrats they haven't murdered. So Trump was winning by a landslide, destroying Biden in every poll. Obviously, the deep state is in shock that Trump survived, yet alone turns lemons to lemonade. Turns lemons to lemonade. So the most heroic, iconic images in history of modern American politics, right? So everything that has happened since then has been a result of shock, panic, and desperation of the Democrats and the deep state. From Biden's medical emergency to his quick resignation, and then hastily producing a letter shared on X, Twitter, with a signature that doesn't match his president's handwriting. So endorsing Kamala, then full-blown media blast, and now the Dems appear to be stuck with this crackling moron. So the most unpopular vice president ever. So in modern history. So even 92%, did you see this? 92% of her staff quit. So that was crazy. So this is who they've chosen to go against Trump, and it makes no sense. And they're managing up her numbers, and it's just nuts. Another pandemic, World War III. We can expect at least more attempts on Trump's life. The Democrats and deep state definitely have something up their sleeve. Something very evil and shocking is coming. I don't know. We have 4 more months, and it's just, yeah. So anyway, that's my little rant.
Somebody mentioned on the chat on Friday that they think Kamala Harris is a Queen Leia, which is a tremendous insight.
Interesting. Wow. Because
we all know that when you get older, a geriatrics person turns into a child again.
Yes.
That can no longer govern. And so you need a surrogate, a queen, a queen mother.
Yes.
So Kamala is the Queen Mother Leia. Wicked queen.
So that's post Jezebel. So post Jezebel is even crazier. Wow. That's good insight.
So I forgot who said that, but that was some great insight.
That's a great insight.
And I always watch the chat to try to glean insight.
Yeah, definitely. Good. Yeah, we got some good people commenting. We have some good people commenting online. Thank you guys for always commenting. You guys are always, we have the most, because I think, I don't know what it is, but we have the most always. So
now, Joe Biden is out. Kamala is in.
Yes.
And they are defending democracy without a single vote cast for Kamala.
Yes. Yeah. And the whole Joe Biden Kamala thing is anything more. It's a bloodless coup by the Obama nights, right? So it's really one of the most astonishing political developments of my lifetime. I wrote that down because I just thought about it. I thought this is really, I don't remember the assassination attempt on Kennedy, a month old. But anyway, Biden is the first incumbent president to not seek re-election after his first term since Lyndon Johnson, 1968. So that's pretty big. He issued a tweet from a personal, not even official account. That's what's crazy too. That's equivalent of divorcing your wife with a text message. And it came at a time where Biden was not seen for 5 days. So I think this coup of Biden and for the Catcher-in-Chief Kamala Harris will spectacularly backfire. Somehow it's going to backfire. I don't know how. I don't know what they're going to do. Like I said, they got World War III. They got another pandemic. I mean, what are they going to do? It's just like, we just have to pray and just.
They have CrowdStrike.
Yeah, they do. Oh, you said it. Oh, let's not get taken down, please.
We're not broadcasting. It had.
I think
it had to do with stream.
Oh my gosh!
And saying CrowdStrike, but we're just recording right now.
Yeah. I hope they don't take it down. We'll see.
Actually, that was probably just coincidence. Yeah. I don't know what's happening Friday, but we were definitely having technical difficulties. Now, our last story before we go on to News Blast, Ken.
Yes.
Is we have to cover this. The Pentagon has gone all in on DEI CRT, and our military leaders, we were talking earlier, seem to hate white men, which I believe is 70% of the armed forces.
Yeah.
And the reason why they hate the men that they are in command of, is they can easily send them wave after wave on a bonsai charge.
Yeah. Like World War II style. Go, 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 go. But yeah, the Pentagon is all in for DEI and CRT, man. The study of the percentage of whites in America is fascinating too. In 1950, the percentage of whites in America was 90%. We were talking about this, how they had the Hispanics, that don't count themselves as white anymore. But now it's 60%. So it's a lot different. And in 2010, it was 72%. So I was following the Pentagon DEI budget and how it surged military-wide for woke training to root out white privilege. So do they know, like you said, that the military is 70% white? So yet the Pentagon dedicated tens of millions of dollars annually to critical race theory, diversity, equity, and inclusion. Now, as I have told you in the past podcasts, cadets at our nation's military academies receive extensive training about racism, sexism, unconscious bias, and intersectionality. It's a special commission just completed a year-long research into this project, and they have uncovered the unbelievable detail behind a costly DoD initiative to root out white supremacy, white privilege in the military. So they uncovered a fervent woke movement throughout the nation's armed forces. So, quote, our research team did not expect to find critical race theory so embedded and pervasive, unquote. So the sole purpose of our military, our armed forces, is to defend the nation against external enemies. And we're so much Rome 2.0. This is how a nation falls. This is definitely, and we're not mentioning end times, so I do know that we go somewhere. But this, dollars starting to go, everything's starting to go. So we just need to follow it and pray that the Lord, sustain us through that.
Now let's move on to our news blast, Ken.
Yeah.
Josh Hawley has dropped a news bomb, which the mainstream media is not taking up. Why don't you tell the tremendous news that Josh Hawley has dropped?
So whistleblower reveals the Secret Service declined drone support offer from local law enforcement prior to the rally. So it's just the whole assassination attempt and all this, him turning his head, I'll say it again, was still God. I mean, it would have nailed him right. And everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. And what's funny is the second story that I wanted to cover is Trump's assassin's home. When they went in and cleaned it, it was already scrubbed, or when they went in to investigate, it was already scrubbed clean like a medical lab, was the quote before the police arrived.
Yeah, the FBI has reported to us said that this is typical and raises no red flags in their investigation.
Oh my gosh. Oh, it's crazy. It's nuts.
I'm kidding.
It's nuts.
They didn't say that.
Oh,
but that's what they're thinking.
We are in such JFK times when nobody really knows what's going on. That was just, it was a lot. I was listening to an interview and the guy, it was Eric Prince, actually, the guy owner of Blackwater, which turned into to G XI, believe it or not. And I know that's the same name as G, but then it turned into I forget what the third name is, Academy. So, but he still owns that. He moved to Dubai for a little while, but Eric Prince was on an interview, and he said that it's big. He actually said comfortably, it's been a lot worse. It's gonna probably get a lot worse than it is, but it's been more crazy than he was talking about the assassination of JFK and stuff, when it was crazy. So, but anyway, we didn't play that Kamala. Did I send you that Kamala?
Yes,
you was did. The last person in the room. He was the last person in the room.
Just in
short,
time, in time to prove that she is a master of international geopolitical persuasions. Here we go.
Biden always said that he wants you to be the last person in the room, particularly for big decisions, just as he was for President Obama. He just made a really big decision. Afghanistan.
Yes.
Were you the last person in the room?
Yes.
And you feel comfortable?
I do.
Okay.
It's
well, I'm not.
Crazy. I'm not
comfortable at all with that answer.
Yeah, she was the last person in the room before we pulled out. And it's like, and she said she was a major part of the decision, too. She didn't say that in that interview. It's just too long. And 13 service members were killed, if you remember. And don't worry, the media will cover Kamala's in this disastrous, Afghanistan withdrawal, and then they'll cover it up. They'll just like, okay, that's gone, So, she boasted of having a key role in the decision. It's nuts. It's beyond crazy. Yeah.
Well,
yeah. I got one more Kamala thing. One more Kamala thing. Yeah. You heard she held a rally today in a deep blue Philadelphia and only 68 people showed up.
Well, those 68 people will get to vote at least 3 million times.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah, that's right. Oh, man.
Elon Musk has broken the internet.
Yes.
This video is not allowed, according to many Democrats and left-wing political pundits. Here we go.
I, Kamala Harris, am your Democrat candidate for president because Joe Biden finally exposed his senility at the debate. Thanks, Joe. I was selected because I am the ultimate diversity hire. I'm both a woman and a person of color. So if you criticize anything I say, you're both sexist and racist. I may not know the first thing about running the country, but remember, that's a good thing if you're a deep state puppet. I had 4 years under the tutelage of the ultimate deep state puppet, a wonderful mentor, Joe Biden. Joe taught me rule number 1, carefully hide your total incompetence. I take insignificant things and I discuss them as if they're significant. And I believe that exploring the significance of the insignificant is in itself significant. Talking about the significance of the passage of time, right? The significance of the passage of time. So when you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time, and there is such great significance to the passage of time. Another trick is trying to sound black. I pretend to celebrate Kwanzaa, and in my speeches, I always do my best Barack Obama impression. So hear me when I say, I know Donald Trump's type. And okay, look, maybe my work addressing the root causes of the border crisis were catastrophic, but my knowledge of international politics is truly shocking. The United States shares a very important relationship, which is an alliance with the Republic of North Korea. It is an alliance that is strong and enduring. And just remember, when voting this November, it is important to see what can be unburdened by what has been. And by what has been, I mean Joe Biden. You think the country went to over the past 4 years? You ain't seen nothing yet.
Gillette.
And that's what I was going to say. What can be unburdened by what has been. Wow. And Elon had like 100, almost 150 million views on that, man. That's awesome.
Wow.
All he put on his Twitter feed was "This is awesome," and he just posted that. That's yeah.
Yes, many are calling it propaganda. Many are calling for Elon to not allow such things. But yeah, I mean, we had disinformation from every other corner of the world when it came to the Hunter Biden laptop and the Russian collusion story, and that was allowed. But we make a little parody of Kamala Harris, and that's off limits.
That's off limits. Yeah, exactly. Then yeah. So hey, can I do one more story real quick?
Sure.
And I wasn't going to do it, but I got to do it. John Haller covered this, but did you see that Israel, they had the bombing, that they had yeah. So Israel says an all-out war is imminent after Hezbollah attacked with rockets. They slammed into a soccer field and killed 11 or 12, children included, 30 casualties. So, altogether, Many of the casualties are children. There's no doubt that Hezbollah crossed all red lines, is what Israeli said. Israeli top diplomat said, and he also said that Israel will have the full backing of the U.S. and Europe. So the rocket had a direct impact on the soccer field. It's the deadliest attack since October 7th, and the face in the Middle East could change like that. So, and then I just wanted to briefly update. I know John Hall already talked about it today, but it just happened, I think, morning, maybe. I don't know, but it just happened. So I just wanted to let the people know that's going on.
All right.
You get news, you get updates, man. Updates.
I'm going to go ahead and try to wrap it up for us, Ken. So we've gone through some really major topics today that some might think would maybe draw the conclusion that we should be hopeless at what's going on in the world. The world seems to be a scarier place. There's a lot of confusion, a lot of chaos, a lot of depravity, and let's face it, there's a lot of anger and vitriol, like one person against another. But the verse of the day that I have to share with you should be something that we should all take comfort from. It's John 16:33. It says, I have told you these things so that in you may have peace. In this world you will have trouble, but take heart. I have overcome the world.
Amen.
So for those of you that have discomfort by seeing these images, that are worried about the children, the next generation, are worried about the things that they're going to do as they try to steal and just diminish democracy and take away freedoms, remember, Christ has overcome the world. It's not us that overcome the world. It's nothing that we're going to do. You know, there was a famous song during the civil rights, We Shall Overcome. Christ already overcame. Christ was that light that guided people in the civil rights to demand equality.
Awesome.
That's the encouragement I'll give you. Look to Christ and know that he overcame, and take joy from the fact that he overcame.
Amen.
All right, Ken, till next time, thank you so much for watching, everybody. It has been a pleasure once again to bring the news to you. We hope to see you again here on Ken's Corner.